Scary Movie 2. Same creative team behind this one. You're saying no new tagline for this one in Italian, was there?
Yeah, they didn't bother with this one.
Didn't bother with this one. They didn't bother with a lot for this one, it seems. There was a... and weirdly, because the first one was such a box office success as well. So, this one obviously got greenlit.
Well, that explains it, man.
Yeah. But it's not...
They didn't feel like they had to try.
It doesn't seem like a crazy ramp up in budget necessarily. We might have we got some more famous actors in this one, so maybe that's where you see in the more budget going for this one. But in terms of like...
I think it's actually less expensive, no? Like it's a lot more contained.
Yeah,
that's
what I thought.
The big house. Yeah.
So which is weird, obviously, but maybe they just thought, hey, we can capitalize on the cheap success of these movies. This one is more of a parody of
The Exorcist.
Yeah.
And then
so that's just the opening scene.
Poltergeist. Really, I mean, they have Poltergeist. The house is a little bit Exorcist-y.
Yeah, I think there's an old film called The Haunting that's very much is what it's based on, about people going and being sort of... There's a study going on with people in a haunted house, and this weird stuff starts happening to them. I think the scene when the girl has sex with the ghost on the roof is like ripped straight from that movie. And then like you said, Poltergeist is a lot of this, but this one's maybe, in terms of the parody, it's a lot less focused, and I think that does play into why this one isn't as good as the first one. Like we said with the first one, we have this sort of through line plot, at least, where they are ripping on Scream and I Know What You Did Last Summer, and that sort of keeps us on board, whereas this one doesn't maybe have as much of that value to it.
It's more of a collection of scenes.
Yeah.
Like the first one is also, but this one just feels like meandering and directionless, and there's only like this very threadbare... Tim Curry wants these teenagers in this house because there's some paranormal activity going on and he wants to get laid or something. And then at the end, stuff with a ghost. It's... Oh, man, I've watched this. I watched the first one and this one, like, one after the other, like, in the same day. And the drop in quality is so, like, it's so palpable. Like, not that the first one is this untouchable masterpiece or anything.
No, I totally agree. I totally agree. The second one, when I was younger, I think the second one got a lot more... not that people thought the second one was better, but I thought it got a lot more praise. And I think people loved the... Chris Elliott's character of the guy with the disabled hand, and that became such a memeable thing that everyone referenced. But for sure, this one doesn't have as much value.
Yeah, I don't know. Chris Elliott is funny in other stuff, and he's mildly funny in two scenes in here, but like they overuse him. Like he's always just like touching stuff with the little hand. It's disgusting. It makes me sick to my stomach. It upsets me, and I guess that's kind of the point. But I don't know. It's just that the first one, as we mentioned, not every joke lands in the first one, but overall, it's a really fun movie, and like the whole kind of like it's consistently funny. And there's so many iconic scenes, the Scream parody at the beginning, the "Was Up" that we haven't actually mentioned during our review of the first one, but like the "Was Up," it's such an iconic moment.
Oh my God, yeah. But again, like people could watch that back now and be like, what the hell is this a reference to? Be like, oh, it's a Budweiser commercial from the early 2000s.
But I never knew that it was a Budweiser commercial until very like later on. So, and it was still funny, like even in Italian as well. Like, so it's everything with Shorty was really fucking hilarious. And here, it's I don't know, man. This movie is just something else. Like most of the humor is shit or puke or cum related. And I hate that stuff. I fucking hate gross out humor in movies.
Yeah. It's very juvenile and like has not much thought or substance into it. What I noted.
It's not even that. Like, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I noted down what was interesting about this one. I was kind of thinking like, why what could you do after the first one to like try and make a good sequel to this? And I noted down, I thought what would be better is actually having more of a centralized plot and having more of a
Yeah,
focused storyline, and you weave the gags in through that way. And to be fair, Scary Movie 2 does kind of do that. Like we said, it's more contained and it's more focused on like a bit of a singular plot. We don't have as many sort of threads or just outside gags that come into it, but it doesn't
yeah.
work as well. And I kind of thought maybe that's something you could do with the second one to make it work better, but it doesn't work here. But I think that just comes down to the jokes aren't as good. It's not as funny.
Yeah, that's the point. Like, if you want to compare, since we said, like we're gonna kind of like vote our favorite cold opens, I can already tell you that the first movie called like the cold open for the first movie is way better than this one.
But
You
this
have this Exorcist parody. It is good. It is good. Like the funniest bit in that scene for me is literally like the very first joke when, all the fancy people are reunited around the piano and the priest starts playing Shake Your Ass by Mystical
that
and they all
bit is
start singing
great.
and they know the song. Like that's funny. But then you have like the girl, like what's her face? What's the name of
She's
the
from
Exorcist
American
girl?
Pie. There's so
Raven.
much American Pie alumni in these films as well, which I guess makes sense.
Yeah, but the girl, the possessed girl comes in and starts pissing herself for like 5 minutes, and the mom grabs her head and pushes it into the piss for no reason. And and then the film is funny again when the priest arrives,
James
fucking James
James
Woods.
Woods is brilliant as the priest. I thought if he's
Uh
he's really funny in this.
and yeah, I have a funny anecdote on this, by the way, because according to the Wayans, Marlon Brando was originally cast as Father
Oh
McFeely
my
and
god.
completed one day of filming before he had to leave the production due to illness or maybe due to realizing how bad the script was.
Oh my god.
Uh,
Could you imagine
so
what that interpretation would have looked like?
one of the final performances by uh, movie star Marlon Brando would have been in Scary Movie 2 as fucking Father McFeely, having a diarrhea episode in the Exorcist house. But yeah, it was replaced by James Woods. But apparently, other people that were shortly considered for the role were Charlton Heston, and then no joke, no joke, this is straight from Wikipedia, so you can trust it. President Bill Clinton, who had just left office the year the film was
Oh
released,
wow, yeah.
was considered for the role. So you know Epstein's own is was supposed to be in this movie. So yeah, that's also funny,
Oh wow. Well,
unlike most
I'm
of this
glad they didn't
film.
give it to Bill Clinton. That would have really ruined this scene, I think. But
Soured the
yeah.
movie for a lot of people.
But
Yeah.
yeah, again, like I mentioned in the Scary Movie 1 review, they do pack this cold open in with all the great gags, the slapstick, the dated jokes, and like the good rip-offs. Like you mentioned, he's sitting on the toilet having diarrhea whilst he's reading the Bible, and that in itself could be just silly. But I do like that they work in like a parody of Amityville Horror with all the flies on the window first, and it's like, oh, where all the flies come from? Oh, the flies are there. It's because he's having a shit on the toilet, and so there's still some, there's still some good setups there for that stuff.
There's some stuff. Well, it's just when my issue is that it's relentless, right? It's a diarrhea joke followed by a puke joke followed by a sex joke. It's exhausting. Like if it was just every once in a while some gross out stuff, I'd be fine with that. But it's like the constant, just like puking everywhere is a bit upsetting to me.
Yeah, 100%,
Um,
100%. It's and that definitely is something that plays throughout this film. We had, I suppose, on a couple of the positive notes, we had, like I mentioned, we have the inclusion of some bigger cast members in this film. We have Tim Curry, David Cross, and Chris Elliott. And
David Cross was funny.
David Cross is
Yeah.
really funny, and I particularly enjoyed his rivalry with Chris Elliott, like their sort of
Yeah.
back and forth. He's taking the piss out of him because he can't walk, and he's taking the piss out of him because he's got a strange hand, and and
I just love all the scenes where David Cross is like playing that like classic, is disabled from the waist down. He can't move his legs, but he doesn't want any help from other characters. So he will prop himself up on the stairs and just keep falling down, and it's so embarrassing and sad, but he keeps pushing, and people are like trying to help him, and he's like, no, I can do this on my own. And it's just, I find it really, really funny
he fully
for some
commits to the
reason.
performance as well.
Something else that I was thinking about, relating to, the cold open, and how it kind of like connects back, or actually it doesn't, to the rest of the movie. Like the first movie has a cold open. It's kind of unrelated, but still, it's a Scream parody. You have Ghostface there, and that's the villain for the rest of the film. While here, you have this Exorcist parody that doesn't really have anything to do with the rest of the movie. So even then, like, it feels so disjointed. Like everything is just unrelated to everything that is happening. Like the only thing, like, is that it's happening in the same house, but like we don't know, the connection with the rest of the Exorcist stuff that was happening at the beginning. I don't know. I guess it's silly and nitpicky to talk about this in relation to a scary movie, but if we're talking about this, I feel like it's only right to mention where the structure of the film just fails.
Oh my god,
to
yeah,
to
yeah.
be.
And probably the worst joke in all of the movies. And I don't even think it was it probably was big in America, but it's definitely not worldwide phenomenon. Where they have this basketball sequence that goes on for so long.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I think it's a rip-off of like an old Nike advert or something, and it's just like, whose idea was it to do that? Like, spend 3-4 minutes. And to be fair, it's literally just them in a dark room bouncing the basketball, so cheap as fuck to make. So I guess that's why they did it. But probably the worst joke in the franchise, goes on way too long, and it just has no rewatch value whatsoever.
Yeah, the whole, like, the dungeon sequence where they all split up, and then they have this fight sequence where they're like Charlie's Angels parodies, like the girls, and they're fighting and then they're fighting the ghost, and it's so confusing, and it all, like, and I guess there's that scene where the guy, he wants to bang Anna Faris. He's like dying at some point, and
Oh yeah.
he-
He's in the fridge.
yeah, he's been
Yeah.
fridged, and that scene is also gross out humor, but I found it kind of funny and unexpected.
Yeah,
Uh,
again, because they put a lot of effort into like the prop value of it, and like the actual the staging of the joke. So that was a good touch. Probably one of my favorite moments in this as well, that's not the cold open, is probably when the black cat gets possessed,
oh my
and
god,
it's like
I hate
it's
that
like
scene.
attacking. You hated that scene. There's one moment in that scene because he's like having like a stop motion fight with this cat, and she like lunges with this smashed bottle, and like Anna Faris has this like menacing smile on her face as she lunges at this little cat with like a broken bowl to stab it in the neck, and it was just like she's going all out for it, which I did appreciate. But
Yeah, she's going all out. Who didn't go all out is the prop department for this one, because that cat is so fake, and I know it's part of the gag that the
that's
cat is
part of the
fake.
charm.
I know, I understand that, and I actually kind of enjoy that, but like
It's like she's fighting a dirty sock puppet.
yeah, that's true. There's some scenes that are improved by how bad some of the effects and props are, and some scenes where you're like, oh, you could have put a little bit more effort in this, but yeah.
What would you say is sort of your funniest scene in the second one then?
Again, David Cross in a wheelchair, not wanting help, even in going up the stairs, and then he falls to his death, but then he comes back. The whole sequence is kind of funny. I guess Tim Curry wanting so badly to get laid is also really hilarious. Yeah, I guess, at the beginning, the guy like with the weird hand, Chris Elliott is, it's funny for the first 2 minutes, and then it becomes unbearable for me, unfortunately. But yeah, that scene at the dinner table is fucking upsetting. I don't know why. It's just I can't. I cringe at watching it. But it's like I'm there and I want to eat, and this guy keeps putting his weird hand in my food. I don't know why. It just upsets me.
Yeah, the My Germs thing was something that just was done at school for years and years,
You know,
so much.
for
My
us,
germs.
for us too. Yeah, it was unescapable, and that's probably why I have some trauma, kind of like linking back to this fucking guy. I can't really think of any other things that really made me laugh. Unfortunately, this movie was kind of a pain to get through for me. Unlike the first one, and fortunately, unlike the third one, which I actually kind of really enjoyed.
Let's give our ratings for Scary Movie 2 before we move on to the next one.
I mean, the rating is already there in the title, man. It's a 2.
Oh wow! Even on your other scale of enjoyment.
On the other scale of enjoyment, it probably is a 1 because I did not enjoy this at all.
Wow, this is a big drop off in quality.
I mean, maybe I'm just being hyperbolic, but like it's no higher than a 4 for me. Unfortunately, it's just unpleasant.
Yeah, for me, oh god, maybe if I'm being fair, then it gets a 5
All right.
out of 10, because it still gives me a few laughs here and there, and again, I'm probably, nostalgia is probably giving it an extra point or whatever, but yeah, still there's some good stuff in here, and it's still it's worth a watch. If you hadn't seen them, it's not, I wouldn't tell somebody to like skip the second one if you were going to watch them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fair. You have to get to have the whole picture of the franchise to really, have an opinion on it. the good things and the bad things, and this is the bad one. But it's still occasionally funny.